Tijjani Reinders shines as new look. Man City send opening day message 5 talking points. Wolves 0-4. Man City, Pep Guardiola's side have laid down an eye-catching marker to the rest of the Premier League as Erling Haaland, Tijjani Reinders and Ryan Cherki all scored Manchester City's summer signing. Tijjani Reinders enjoyed a Premier League debut to remember as he led Pep Guardiola's men to a comprehensive win versus Wolves. It was an emotional occasion for the hosts as they paid tribute to former star Diogo Jota, and Marshal Munetsi thought he had given Wolves the lead with a thumping header, only for an offside flag to rule out his effort. Erling Haaland was predictably the man to open the scoring as he converted Rico Lewis's low effort. And just a few minutes later, City were celebrating again, with Tijjani Reinders polishing off a lethal counter-attack. Both City stars were at the heart of things again as Haaland notched his second from the Dutchman's cutback. Ryan Cherki then got in on the act late on with a low drive as City rounded off a productive evening. Here are all of the talking points from Molineux. Shortly before kickoff, fans and players alike got a chance to give Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva touching tributes. A number of the forwards' former teammates took to the pitch, including Matt Doherty, Ruben Dias, Bernardo Silva, all of which were clearly emotional during a minute's applause before the game. Meanwhile, Wolves fans unfurled a huge banner of Jota, adorned with the message, "We'll remember you when you walk in fields of gold," as the song of the same name played across the stadium. Jota's family, wife and friend Ruben Neves all attended to pay tribute. There was then a huge applause across the stadium in the 18th minute, the shirt number Jota wore during his time with the club. It was a hugely emotional occasion and one befitting of a person and a player who was adored in the Black Country. It wouldn't be a Premier League opening weekend without Haaland hitting the back of the net, and it was a predictably predatory goal from the Norwegian frontman. Reinders showed excellent footwork to release Lewis down the right. And in space, the defender whipped a low cross across the face of goal where the unmarked Haaland was lurking to convert. His goal made it 4 seasons in a row that he's scored in Manchester City's opening fixture. It was also his 9th career goal against Wolves, who must be sick of the sight of Haaland. He has only scored more against RB Leipzig. And to make matters worse, he was on the scoresheet once again in the second half. City really struggled to cope in the absence of Rodri last season, but it appears they've found his replacement in Reinders. The Dutchman put in a blockbuster performance on what was his Premier League debut. Reinders appeared to cover every blade of grass throughout the game in what was a real box-to-box display. He was also very effective going forwards, his creativity shining in Haaland's opener, while his own goal was really well taken. He then played a key role in City's third as Lewis and Haaland put together a brilliant team move. Wolves fans were treated to a number of familiar faces on the Manchester City team sheet for their Premier League opener. Mateus Nunes was named on the bench, the Portuguese far from the most popular man in the Midlands. And predictably, he was roundly booed when introduced from the bench. Rayan Ait-Nouri did not get the same treatment, however. The Algerian defender only departed Molineux in the summer in a £31 million switch. Much like many of his teammates, Ait-Nouri had a very decent debut and already looks at home at City. There have been plenty of questions about City's goalkeeping department over the past few days. Ederson has been linked with a move to Galatasaray, while City are apparently keeping tabs on Gianluigi Donnarumma. But James Trafford did his chances of keeping the number 1 role no harm with an impressive performance. He showed good awareness to come out of goal and mop up when required. He also produced excellent saves top deny Munetsi, who was offside, and Jacob Strand-Larsen. Trafford's authoritative approach when the ball came into his box was also standout. All in all, an excellent debut. Pep Guardiola cuts emotional figure in beautiful Wolves tributes to Diogo Jota. Wolves paid tribute to former player Diogo Jota, who died in a car crash alongside his brother in July, ahead of their first match of the new Premier League season against Mainz. Pep Guardiola was visibly emotional as tributes were paid to the late Diogo Jota ahead of Wolves' clash with Manchester City. Jota, 28, tragically died in a car crash in July alongside his younger brother, Andre Silva, Leicester City. The Portuguese forward spent 3 years at Wolves before moving to Liverpool in 2020. Saturday's fixture was their first competitive match since his passing, and Wolves marked the occasion prior to kick-off. A tifo of Jota was raised on the south bank, as all inside Molineux took part in a minute's applause. The camera panned to City boss Guardiola, who was clearly moved as he stood and applauded alongside his team of coaching staff. In attendance was also Portugal manager Roberto Martinez and former Wolves star Ruben Neves. Jota's wife, Ruta Cardoso, and the couple's 3 children were at Anfield on Friday, as more poignant tributes were paid. Wolves produced a special 100-page commemorative programme for the game, as they hosted City to get their 2025-26 Premier League campaign underway. In the 18th minute, marking the shirt number which Jota used to wear for Wolves, both sets of fans applauded for 60 seconds. Wolves kept Guardiola's side at bay for the first 34 minutes before the hosts suddenly found themselves 2-0 down at the break. Erling Haaland broke the deadlock in the 34th minute before new signing Tijjani Reinders, who created the opener, doubled City's lead 3 minutes later with his first goal for the club. The striking pre-match tifo was created by Wolves supporters group Old Gold Pack, who fundraised over the past month. Co-founder Kieran Newey commented, "We wanted to honour Diogo and show what he meant to Wolves fans and to Wolverhampton. Football fans come together at times like this to really show the true love they have for players and for football clubs, and we've had donations from across football, but Wolves fans in particular. Diogo was one of the legends who helped turn the club around when we really needed it. We wanted to show his family and everyone who loved him exactly what he meant to us. It's going to be emotional for everyone, in the stadium and watching at home, but we believe we'll get it right." Wolves chairman Jeff Shee said of Jota Diogo was a top player, and for me, one of the top 3 players in the whole 10 years that Fosun and I have been here. But he was also a nice boy, who was very warm, very nice, and always understanding, but he was also demanding. As a top player, you sometimes have to demand your teammates to do well, and although he was never a player on the pitch to shout, you could always see what he wanted from you. He was a very positive and optimistic guy, and he could even give the chairman confidence, but he was a guy with very clear ideas. He was smart, intelligent, and also very decisive in his actions. I feel he had the potential to become a very good CEO or entrepreneur in the future because he was very clear with what he wanted to do. Diogo will be sorely missed by everyone here at Wolves, and our thoughts go out to his family and friends.